Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am waiting for people to get in. I'm going to hop on this real quick. If you've seen me do lives before, I kind of am a straight to the point person. Like to get my thoughts out. It's a coffee machine. I need my coffee. I just did like 45 minutes of yoga. And my body is like, girl, we need our hype man. You're not helping us out. And I posted yesterday. This was about self-compassion. Good morning, everyone. Because I was listening to a podcast that I love called Ratchet and Respectable with Demetria L. Lucas. And she's a hometown girl. She from the D.C. Well, she from PG County, but I claim her because she cool. And she had Sister Souljah on as her guest. Sister Soulja's long-awaited book, the sequel to The Coldest Winter Ever came out. And so she had her on to talk about, her experience creating this book and, all of those things that you talk to people about. And Sister Souljah said that silence is a luxury. And if you see my house, it's dead quiet in here. And it made me think like, oh my God, I'm so rich. Like, before my kids get up, I am doing everything that I can do to get into me, to have time with me, to create a space of compassion for myself. And silence is me being compassionate to myself. Silence is me allowing myself to listen, allowing myself to hear what I authentically need, want, and desire so that I can grow into a more authentic person. The other thing that I'm realizing when I was thinking about that is the amount of self-compassion that misses these social media spaces because, oh, you from PG? Hey, girl. That misses these media spaces because we are well, I don't do it. I tried to do it when I first got on here. But what I'm saying is crafting our yoga spaces or our picture spaces to these picture perfect Instagram photo shoot looking pictures. And now if that's your thing, that is being compassionate to yourself. But it's not my thing. I have a real life. I'm a real person. I have 3 kids. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I run my business out of my home. I do everything out of my home. My home is not going to look like a studio. I'm not going to create a space that no one can go in for lots of reasons. Being a black person, growing up in with your grandma, and you can't go in that one room, that one living room, and the one dining room. I just never got that. I'm not going to do it. So that's me being compassionate to myself by not forcing myself to fit into this little neat box that people need to see you in on social media in order to digest you, in order to accept you. Like, really, am I doing my yoga practice? Am I practicing my yoga and sharing it because I love it or because I want you to love it? So it's really always thinking about authentically what you are creating and why you are creating it. And that's where self-compassion comes from. What you are doing, is it really about you? And once you realize that it's not about you, the compassion for yourself has left the room. You are, in essence, putting yourself to work for other people's ideals that probably don't even exist on some level. And it's really interesting that we do these things like automatically. Like, it's just like is such a huge thing, so that we're so taught. And I know where it comes from. It comes from, when you're little, you're groomed a certain kind of a way, depending on where you grow up. I grew up in a very poor home, and we didn't have a lot. So I didn't have the facade. I didn't have that thing, that barrier from my house to school that could that would, protect me or keep me to hold up an image that I didn't know how to maintain. I was a poor kid at home and I was a poor kid at school. So that was I kind of broke down those boundaries for me, needing to fit into certain types of boxes, because no one had those expectations of me in my life as I was growing up. Even when I was a kid, I recall an experience of being in 6th grade. I was graduating, and we were really poor. In the 80s, crack era, Southeast DC, poor. And we didn't get new clothes regularly. People went school shopping for school, whatever. We didn't do that. We got clothes from the Goodwill, or if someone gave us clothes in the neighborhood, we were fortunate and we were grateful. And graduation came, and I overheard my teacher say, Arnita better be dressed up properly for graduation or she's not participating. And it gave me such anxiety, because I had not realized up until that point that it was something different expected of me than what I could do. This was literally all I had. I didn't have anything else to offer. And so to hear an adult speak that way, I realized right then and there that there is a societal expectation and a societal norm that I may never live up to. I may never capture. And it induced at the time, because I was a kid, a bit of shame in me, and guilt about my circumstances. And I started hating my home. I hated it anyway, because it was a crazy house, but I started hating it in a different kind of a way, like really being ashamed of where I came from, because I realized, it was like the first time the wool was pulled from over my eyes, that other people weren't as poor as we were. Other people weren't experiencing life like we were. And it ripped the level of self-compassion that I had for my child self at that time, with thinking that what we had was okay and who we were was okay. I was an honor roll student every year. I did everything I could do to be the best student, and I thought that was enough. I believed that was enough, because I was a kid and I didn't know that the world had expectations of us. And this is where our compassion for ourselves begins to be dumbed down, right? So you're either in a home where you have a parent who has very high expectations of you because they had high expectations of them, and it gets passed on, and you learn how to be dispassionate with yourself, how to form and shape and become a chameleon for the world. And you erase your purity. You erase your natural essence, trying to hang on to something that isn't yours. And you're welcome. Thank you for listening. And it's really something we get to get back to as adults. It's really just diving into this deep well of compassion for ourselves. We're constantly trying to prove how compassionate we are to other people by saying nice things to them, by donating, by giving our time and energy to causes, marching, and all those things. But where's our self-compassion? How do we grow that? How do we realize that we are limited in that? How do we decide to invest in ourselves in a way that is useful and will help us grow authentically? So listening to her talk about silence being a luxury, I realized that was a huge thing, and it was so compassionate of myself to give myself something that growing up I never had. And I always wanted. It wasn't something I coveted from other people. It was something that I wanted for me, which was a home that was very peaceful, and there's not a lot of drama going on. Like, I am a pretty boring person. Other than the little yoga and dancing, I'm pretty quiet. I will sit in the house. It's funny because when my partner comes home, if my daughter doesn't turn on the TV, I will sit in the house. We will sit in here all day quiet. It's just such a joy to me to not have to hear any noise ever. And that is such a huge gift, because I know that the noise separates me from myself. And when I have to be in the noise, I've been with myself, and it allows me to function in the noise better. It doesn't spike up my anxiety or my PTSD or anything like that. It allows me to function regularly. I hate to say words like regularly or normally, because what is that? But I'll say my regular, my norm, in a way that helps me move deeper into my healing. So I thought that was important. I hope it helped someone. And thank you, Kiana Janae, for that entertain the thought with Reese. Thank y'all for interacting. I appreciate all the interaction I get on the internet. It's been a really long year. And I have been very faithful to my being in the house and not going out since COVID began. So this year has been having interactions with people on the internet has been really a grace period, a really beautiful thing this year. So I appreciate it. So I'm going to hop off here. If no one has any thoughts they want to share or questions, because I'm literally done. I'm a fast talker. Dirty Walker. What was that from? What was that from? Fast Talker, Dirty Walker. Was that from Mad TV? I think it was from Mad TV, which was Deborah Wilson, A1. Some of the best TV ever. All right, guys. I appreciate you all so much. I'm going to get my day started. Yeah. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.